Hey, what's up guys? Andrew here, and Elder Scrolls Month continues on my channel. Now today, I'm gonna try and convince you why you should pick up this game right here, The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Now just a fair warning, this game did come out nearly a decade ago, so the quality of the graphics is not going to be up to par, and there are plenty of mechanics that are going to be honest, they're going to be pretty damn annoying. Because mind you, back then, it was a different ballpark, and there was a lot less coddling. But don't let those things stop you, because Morrowind has so much to offer. And a quick disclaimer, I have not beat the game yet, so before all you diehards come down upon me and say, oh, you're not a fan, you're a poser, I like the game, and so far it's an amazing game. That's why I'm trying to get you guys to play it. Now, without further ado, let's take a look at some of the good things. For instance, the factions. There are 11 playable factions in this game. As you can expect, there's the main quest. There's also the Fighters Guild, the Mages Guild, the Thieves Guild, the Morag Tong, which is basically the Dark Brotherhood, the Assassins Guild. Also, there's a playable arena. So right now we're looking at 6 quest lines, pretty much the same as Oblivion. However, Morrowind digs deeper. You can join the Imperial Legion. We're sitting at 7 now. You can join the Imperial Cult, which is what the Dark Elves call it, because the Nine Divines is a foreign religion in Morrowind. And you can join the Temple, which is the main religion in Morrowind. So what, we're looking at 9 factions right now, but wait a minute, there's DLCs. So there's the Tribunal faction, and there's the Blood Moon storyline. So they're pretty much 11 quest lines, more or less, that you can play. Now, did I say 11? Let's make that 12, because Morrowind is run by great houses, and you can join one of those great houses and do a quest line for them. Now, that's pretty damn impressive, thinking that Oblivion has 8 quest lines, and Skyrim has 8 quest lines. So Morrowind already has an extra 3 quest lines that these two newer games don't have to offer. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. Morrowind is definitely the hardest out of the 3 main series of Elder Scrolls games. It doesn't really coddle you, and mind you, this was made in a time where difficulty was something that games were almost required to have, whereas nowadays they're trying to please as many people as possible, so the games are going to be easier. Morrowind is not leveled to you. So you can go at level 1 anywhere you want in the world, and the opponents you fight are going to be that level depending on where you are. For instance, in the starter area, yeah, you're going to have people that are somewhat weak. But let's just say by some stroke of luck or just stupidity, you end up in a place that you shouldn't be. You're going to get one shot a lot. And even if you have a sword, you're not going to be able to fight back as much, because the way the skills work in Morrowind is you suck when you begin, which is realistic. I mean, just because you wield a sword, you're not a swordsman. Just because you know a fireball spell, you're not a mage. You know what I mean? You have to practice. I'm not going to lie, though, it can get pretty frustrating when you're swinging your sword and you're clearly hitting the enemy, but you're not doing any damage. Likewise, it can also be pretty damn annoying when you're trying to cast a spell in the heat of battle and it fails. But like I said, you got to accept this game with the good and the bad. Now, the overworld in Morrowind is huge and incredibly diverse. You can actually see it right there behind me. There's an in-game map from it. This is a big island with a volcano, but really there's a lot of diversity because there are swamps, fields, lakes, ashlands, the volcano itself. Plus, if you have the DLCs installed, there's a big city, and there's the island of Solstheim, which if you're a Skyrim fan, you may have seen it in the DLC Dragonborn. Now, the way Morrowind is programmed, pretty much the overworld encompasses the city. So, whereas in Skyrim or Oblivion, let's say in Oblivion, I get to the Imperial City, I have to press A on the door and load, a new zone to be inside of the city. In Morrowind, you just kind of walk through the open town gates and you're in town. Overworld really is huge. It's incredibly huge. And there's a lack of a fast travel system as seen in Oblivion and Skyrim. So you may ask, how am I going to get around? Well, you're going to be doing a lot of walking. But there are faster ways to get around because there's these giant beetles called silt striders, and you can take them. It's basically fast traveling. You can go to one, give the guy a couple coins, and you'll be in the next town, which is pretty useful. Also, in the Mages Guild, there are guild teleporters that will teleport you to other Mages Guild halls. That's another useful way to travel. Plus, along the coast, there are fishermen and just ferrymen that will carry you around the coast. But that's not all. You can do more yourself without any help from others. There are scrolls that will teleport you to the nearest temple or imperial cult shrine. And if you have a hand for magic, you can learn a spell called Mark and a spell called Recall. Now, Mark, as the name suggests, you're walking in the overworld, you cast a spell. That spot is now marked. Let's say you're on the complete other side of the map right now, and you cast Recall. You're instantly teleported back to the spell you marked. So even though Vardenfell is huge and there's no conventional fast travel, I like this better because you kind of have to use your brain, and it's more creative than just opening your map, typing A on Whiterun, and poof, you're there. Now, what's Elder Scrolls games without magic? Well, to be honest, possibly Elder Scrolls 6. Now, I say that because Skyrim had some spells, Oblivion had more spells, and Morrowind had even more spells. So, obviously, some of these spells can't exist in current games because of the way they're programmed, but they're still a lot of fun, and that's why I'm going to talk about them. For instance, levitation. You cast a spell, and you can levitate. You can basically walk on air. You can walk higher or lower or whatever you want for as long as the duration of the spell. So that's pretty fun. It's pretty useful, and it's definitely useful for climbing mountains and just avoiding enemies. It's a good spell. Also, as I said before, there's the Mark and there's the Recall spell, and there's a spell called Sanctuary. Now, the way Sanctuary works is, let's say it's Sanctuary 50 points on yourself. I believe that means that you are 50% harder to hit, which is very useful, especially against these difficult enemies, as I stated earlier. Now, one pretty big part of the game, could be good, could be bad, depending on how much you like to read, is that Morrowind is a very text-heavy game. Now, I personally love this because what they can do with text is they can cover a lot more details than they can with dialogue, just for the sake of space. So Morrowind is going to be incredibly text-driven games. These NPCs will talk your ears off, and the quest journal, however unorganized it may be, is going to be very, very detailed. All of this, dear viewer, is just scratching the surface. Morrowind has so much to offer, and for every 10 things I say, there's 100 things just waiting for you to discover in the game. I highly recommend you go pick this game up. It's maybe $2, $3 nowadays for a Game of the Year version. It really is a masterpiece that, if you're a fan of Skyrim or a fan of Oblivion, you should try. Now, mind you, this game is not for everyone, because like I said, it's an old game, and it's a difficult game. So if you don't have patience to play it, this might not be the game for you. But if you do, you will be rewarded. Well, there you have it. If I haven't convinced you to pick up Morrowind, you are stubborn. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. But the fun doesn't have to end here. This is Elder Scrolls Month on my channel, so I already have a couple of videos concerning the Elder Scrolls. Mind you, I also have videos concerning other video games. I do Let's Plays, and I do reviews. Not to mention videos like this where I just sit down with you guys and just discuss games that I'm passionate about. So feel free to check that out. Maybe subscribe for some more videos. But most importantly, you guys have an amazing day. I'm Andrew, and I'll see you guys later.